Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Season 2, Episode 3 of Hooper's Delight. Coach Keshawn Liggins, our guy, Strive 365 behind the cameras, the GOAT, the best there is out there. Shout out to our guy, Coach DM, number one supporter, number one fan. He always here with us as well, supporting and just having a good time. So we're going to jump into this. Episode 3, we decided we're going to go some ladies first. We're going to go ladies first. We're going to jump in, talk about some 6A girls basketball. Then we'll touch on some 5A boys basketball because there's some things to get educated on and talk about there. Some guys that have been absolutely doing their thing. And then we're going to jump over and do some coaching and some educating while we talk about 6A boys, which is obviously plenty to talk about there, our specialty. So let's start with the girls. There was a game last night. When this drops, it will have been almost a week. But Mountain View almost beats Middleton. Dawn Holman was injured. One of our player of the year watches, a dark horse to win the player of the year, sniper, good defender, the girl that slowed Berkeley Jones down enough for them to take that. And now we see is a massive win against Eagle at Eagle. But we're going to jump into it. Middleton for you. Last week you said might be the favorite without Dawn Holman. Let's start here because they deserve their flowers once again. They've showed that they are the number one ranked team in the state for a reason. I believe they solidified the number one seed with that win. They may need another win or two against lesser competition at this point. But what do you think? Where does Middleton go with this type of injury, and is she going to return? Do you know?
I'm not quite sure where if she's going to return or not, but I do think that she'll probably be back by, I would say, the state tournament. I don't know if the injury was that bad, but she's a tough girl, so I think she's one of those players that even if she is injured, depending on if she can run and still move, she'll be one of those ones that'll gear up for the big moment. So, could hopefully see her in the district tournament, hopefully see her in the state tournament. But yeah, Middleton has been just a team that defensively they have a defensive mindset, and their energy is unmatched from the coaching staff all the way down to Zoe Blackwell and the Blackwell sisters. And, so for me, that's why they're my favorite, is because they really take pride in that side of the ball. And they're one of the teams that I feel like that truly just enjoys each other's success. It's not really about one person. And you can tell by their energy, and when somebody scores, they're all cheering for each other after the game. They're all excited for each other. And I think that's the biggest thing that separates them from these other top teams, is that they're, as a whole, they're all together, from the coaching staff all the way down to each player, down to probably their managers, down to the city of Middleton. That's just what they do. That's what they're about. So they do it together. So that's why they're my favorite right now.
Yeah, and I don't think a lot of people out there understand how important being together in chemistry is, especially when you face adversity like they're currently about to face without Dawn Holman, probably having to go through districts without her. Where, are they going to be able to win the district championship? If not, how are you going to respond when you lose, when you have not lost for a while? That's a massive piece. But once again, you mentioned the Blackwell sisters, been there, done that.
Right.
Mom's the coach,
right.
Dogs, all the way down to coaching staff. Rose over there, he going to have them right. They're together, like you said. That's a weapon, and that is always an underrated weapon for me, which is something that we'll talk more and more about as we go on. But I want to touch on the Bora girls. You touched on who we think is going to be the number one seed in the SIC, and it looks like they've locked that up. They beat Bora by 11. I forget where that game was. I think it might have been at Bora. It was, because I believe our guy Strive was there. And I saw Bora play Capital the other day in the battle for the Griffin Cup, and Coach Ebb got them going. And they're young, and I was looking at the roster. I only got to catch the first half of the game because then I had to go hit another game. But man, Kaya Davis is the centerpiece. But they have other pieces. Brynlee Chase is all over the place. She's finishing. She's dropping dimes. She's defending. She's blocking shots. She's diving on the floor. She's guarding whoever she needs to guard. And then I was extremely impressed with their junior point guard, Cameron Cressalt. And if I'm saying that last name wrong, I apologize. But she was dropping dimes, getting easy looks for her shooters, and they were flowing and going, and she was dictating tempo. And I was extremely impressed with what they were doing and how they were doing it. Capital also was impressive, kind of defensively super scrappy. Miriam Stafford was hitting step backs and some deep threes. They were without Eden Francis, one of the state's top female athletes, I would say. I believe she's a Division I tracker,
right.
And she wasn't there. She was sick, unfortunately. But with her, I could just see where she could have helped in that game. With her, Capitals more so there than I even thought they were.
Right.
Once again, shout out to Coach Creech, what he's doing over there. Ama Engong was a defensive machine. She had multiple blocks, multiple steals. She was all over the place. She deserves a shout out as well. But for me, for us to be sitting here talking about the Bora girls being the 2 seed and not Eagle, the flowers once again needs to be given to Coach Ebb and potentially obviously a Coach of the Year candidate with what she's got going on over there with a young team who next year could potentially look like the favorites, along with the Coeur d'Alene with Brooksley Colvin up there as well, who we'll talk about in a minute. But Bora is a team that I was excited to see, and I was even more impressed than I thought I would be, but Capital as well. But Bora ended up winning the game 44-30. They locked down, they share the ball. Kaya Davis is not a selfish star. She distributes and defends and encourages and uplifts. And so that was fun to see. And then we go to, if you want to touch on Bora, you can, but I was going to have you move on and talk to me about Eagle. Where you got to see them the other day. You saw Trinity Holsinger pop off. Yeah. How do you feel about the Bora Eagle thing? If they play again, what happens? Is this how the seeding should be?
For me, to be honest, yeah, it's exactly how it should be, because Bora got them at Eagle in OT. So, we can't take away anything from them for what they did there. I do think it's a little different now after watching Eagle play against Timberline and seeing Trinity go 6 for 6 in the first half from 3. And I'm talking about she's pulling from 25 feet all net. And which I've been telling you that I wanted to see. Like, I was like, I've been waiting for her to arrive, and she's here now. Yeah. And so I think that makes them way more dynamic, because when she's hitting shots, it seems like the ball moves a lot better as well, because then it comes back to her and she's making the next extra pass, and it comes back to her and she can, take her shots. You have to guard her from as soon as she crosses half court. Yeah. And that's, you've been telling me that, and I'm like, well, I'm waiting. And she showed me right there front and center. So I think she ended up finishing the game with 7 threes. But the way that they played against Timberline was different than how they played the entire season. The ball was moving. Multiple players have multiple 4 and 5 assists. And which is something like they have high star power between their 3 scorers, with Berkeley Jones, Player of the Year watch, Taya Nelson, who to me could be in that conversation and should be in that conversation. And then obviously Trinity finally getting it going. So now when they're so dynamic because they have those 3 options, and then all of the depth that they have from the defensive end, and other girls that could potentially score more if they were on other teams. Some of these other girls that, their 4th or 5th options would be, 1 and 2 options at other schools. But at Eagle is such a deep team, they're finally figuring it out. And for me, watching how they played, I don't know if I see a team that has moved the ball as well as they have that night. Maybe the rest of the season there's other teams that have, but from what I've seen against Timberline, they had it going. And so that made them, to me, where I'm like, okay, this is the Eagle I know. This is the Eagle that you think they're going to be. This is the Eagle I thought they were going to be. If they continue to play like that, I think they'll win. But if they get to where it's selfish and it's all about who scores, I think that's where they're flawed. And they can get like that because they have so many different talents, high-level talents. But when they share the ball, it's so much more fun to watch, and they're so much harder to beat. And I think that will play into their favor if they continue to play the way that they did against Timberline into their upcoming games.
Yeah, and like you said, you mentioned 3 different girls who could be potentially in the Player of the Year conversation in that league, top 5 to 10 players, with Taya Nelson, Berkeley Jones, Trinity Holsinger. And then you've got the depth, which you've been educating me on. We saw what they did down in the Nike Tournament of Champions, winning that tournament. They show they can win a 3-4 day tournament, right? They show they can do that. For me, that's impressive. Coeur d'Alene did it as well in a different bracket. For me, you've got to look at that and be like, okay, they can handle the grind of 3-4 days. Different depth, obviously, here than there is with Coeur d'Alene and some of these other teams. And they've got some losses that, like you're saying, if they learn from and they play together with the depth and the ability. Braille Lake's hitting threes, Bella Thompson's hitting threes. They're finding shooters. Ella Tharp, Ellsworth. We just named 7-8 names who are difference makers. And so they've lost some games that hopefully they look back and they're like, that made us better. That got us to where we needed to be to reach our goal, which is winning the state championship. And the depth and the star power is exactly why they are my choice to win it this year. But once again, Bora has shown that they're better. At this point, Bora is better. Right. And Middleton is the team to beat. And then, but they did beat Coeur d'Alene up in Coeur d'Alene by 18. They held down Brooksley Colvin as best they could. I think she had 80% of Coeur d'Alene's points in that game, I heard, and they still and they got them by about 20. So those top three teams, I think, are going to be the top three in the SIC: the 1 seed, the 2 seed, and the 3 seed. And then you've got a couple dark horses. Boise, a very young team who has going to have an incoming freshman. Camilla's coming in next year, allegedly going to Boise. She's going to help that young team even more so. They're going to be talented. Can they get there this year and get that experience that I think is extremely important for young teams for the following year? You know, I'm a guy that likes that. I like it for Columbia boys at the 5A level that they were there. That's why I'm picking them, because of that experience. I think it would be massive for the Boise girls to get there. I would love to see Capital get there because Matt Creech is a good friend of mine, and he has turned a program around in a place that is not easy.
Right.
Not easy. You're surrounded by Bora. You're literally in the middle of Bora, Eagle, and Middleton.
Right.
In Capital, you're literally in the middle of them, and you're still finding a way to utilize your players' strengths and find a way to be competitive. And I'd love to see that as well. Another dark horse. I know you've said Rocky Mountain. I'm going to throw out Mountain View after what they did just yesterday. They were ahead with 7 seconds to go against Middleton.
Right.
And they've got a duo that I love, Quincy Keller, Addie Lee.
That's my girl.
Yeah, when you got a duo like that, where you got two different people that can go for 20 to 25, tough to guard. You can focus on one, the other can go. I mean, I love duos, I love trios, and that's why, once again, Eagle with the trio is the team I have winning it. Let's touch on Brooksley Colvin really quick, because she had 2 games ago, she went for 30, and then she was called out after that by a fan, and it was pretty funny. I've got the text messages saved. It says, "Hey, we all know you can go for 30, but what about 40? Then she comes out against Lake City and has 39 and 3/4 and sits the 4th quarter. 30, and she had 10 steals as well, acting like Silas Crane from Capital with double-digit steals.
Right.
And then she had, I believe it was 8 rebounds, 6 assists, and 4 blocks. She's flirting with a quadruple double. And if she gets up to 5 blocks, we're talking about she's flirting with a quintuple double, which I've never even heard of. And so Brooksley Colvin, in my opinion, looks to be run, and everyone thinks I'm a fanboy. I am a fanboy because I've seen her play for years since she was a freshman, and I know the family. I know her older sister. I know that her older sister had a go at Avery Howe, had a rivalry with Avery Howe, and she won that rivalry.
Yeah.
And that's not normal.
Right.
Avery Howe was a National Player of the Year, Division I for UW a few weeks ago, because she liked that. She's going to be on the Canadian national team for the next 20 years, 15, 20 years, hooping, taking Canada women's basketball to new heights. And so Tegan Colvin had to go head to head with her and got the state championship and all that. And her younger sister is probably even better. And Tegan would hate me for saying that, but it's because of you, Tegan. Shout out Tegan Colvin at UNLV doing her thing. They're having a great year. Should make the tournament this year. I'm going to wear her jersey one of these weeks. But Brooksley Colvin is elite at everything. She was invited to the Steph Curry camp. She's got photos of her and Steph working individually and with groups, and she got that type of range. And I'm excited for the lights to shine bright and her show everybody, because I know Eagles I talked to a few Eagle parents. Oh, we're fine with Coeur d'Alene. You're not. When you step on a court and she's there, you're not fine. You better show up and show out. But Brooksley Colvin for me at this point is running away with the player of the year, with Gatorade player of the year for the girls. The conversation, I don't want to say there's no conversation about it at this point, but they're 19-2. One of their losses is Eagle, which you would consider a good loss based on what we're talking about Eagle. And then I don't know who their other loss is against. I think it was an out-of-state team. But Brooksley Colvin is something different, bro. I think she's the best overall basketball player, male or female, in the state when it comes to how elite she is. Because I'm not saying she would come over here and beat the boys, take Drake Hope, take Quincy Clay. I'm not saying that. I'm saying from a recruiting standpoint, she's the top prospect.
Yes,
she's the top prospect in the state as a junior. Yeah. And when you're getting offers from a school that Caitlin Clark went to, and a school that's played in 2 national championships in the last 7 years, and you're from Idaho, you're different. I'm hoping she does the McDonald's All-American thing next year if she gets that opportunity like Avery Howe. But what do you think about Brooksley? You know a little bit about Brooksley.
For me, just watching to be honest, the way that she plays, and even like last year, she took that Owyhee team, to the very end of the game, and she was born. I think she had 36 or 38 in that game.
Overtime too.
And like she just how she goes is how they go. And so for me, I do also look at like at the beginning of the year, Coeur d'Alene didn't look as good. They're better now. And I think that that's one thing that over the course of time, she's got accustomed to more of her teammates. Her teammates know exactly what they need to do to get her the ball. And she's leading that team. And it's like when you have that type of experience going to these camps in the summer, playing high-level AAU and all of that, and you're getting these type of offers, you're not getting them faking it. You're not. These aren't fake mixtapes. These aren't paid stuff that she had to go pay these video guys to make for her. She's like that, and everybody knows the offers are coming. They're still coming, and she's gonna be able to put down as many hats as we got right here to She Gone. Shout out to our sponsor, but she's gonna be able to put down all these hats and say, where do I want to go to play? Where am I gonna get a free education? And where is the NIL bag coming from?
Yeah,
so it's like she's that level. She's must-see TV.
Yeah, she doesn't pay to go to these camps. They pay her.
Right.
They fly her out.
Right.
To the Curry camp. They get her to gear. They get her a room full of these camps. These kids they go to day one, they come back to their room, their hotel room that's paid for, and they got gear all over the bed.
Yeah.
Curry gear all over the bed. And they're not paying for that. So she's extremely different. People need to get out to the girls' state tournament this year.
Yeah.
Watch Brooksley Colvin play basketball. Watch the edge. Watch the attitude. Watch the IQ. Completely different animal. And probably my favorite player in the state of Idaho, boys or girls, Brooksley Colvin. Love watching her play. Fanboy, and cannot wait to hear where she goes to college because I'm going to get a jersey made, just like I did for her sister. So quick shout out to Rigby, who is still undefeated.
Yep.
And Kinsley Larson, the Alaska Anchorage commit, is leading her team. They are big, physical. They defend. And we just can't wait to get them out here for the state tournament to see if they are as real as they look, because are they going to lose this year? Going undefeated, as you know, is extremely difficult. There can be benefits in losing, but also they seem extremely confident and they're chomping at the bit to get out here. So shout out to the Rigby girls, who we're going to continue to get educated on, but we do know that they have a state player of the year candidate in Kinsley Larson. Yep. And if they win the state championship and they go undefeated, Kinsley Larson could ruin it or wreck it for Brooksley Colvin because of that accomplishment. So and because it's more than just scoring points, it's more than just stats. That, as you know, real hoopers know that there's so much more to it, which we're going to talk about here in a few minutes. So let's jump over to 5A boys. We've got some big games coming up. There was a game canceled. BK versus Skyview was canceled because half of the BK student population was sick. Want to take a chance again to give our guys at BK, She Gone, one of our sponsorships, a shout out. We're going to shout out Eagle Ridge Apparel. Yeah. We always got, he got the merch here.
We got so many flavors.
That's right.
We got so many flavors, man. We got it all.
Come on, man. So shout out to those guys at BK. I might go catch BK, play Valley View tonight. You were talking to me into that before the pod started. But 5A boys, I want to get a little bit outside the SIC. We talked about it on Keys Corner this week. Yeah. Once again, this is going to drop. This is going to be our third episode. So the things we talk about will have already transpired. But I want to talk about Blackfoot, a team that I got some messages about. Hey, look out for Blackfoot. They're over there with Preston. Preston just lost to Pokey at home without Wade Bailey, state player of the year contender at the 5A level. They still got Case and Bryce, Mr. Viral, shout out Strive 365 clips for getting that one. And so Blackfoot has Austin Arave, senior point guard, top scorer in 5A at 20.4 points a game right now. And his boy, Caden Sorensen, I believe is at about 18.4, a 6'4" guard wing. And that duo, once again, we go to the duo thing, like Addie Lee and Quincy Keller at Mountain View, that can make you dangerous. These guys only have two losses on the year. They get Preston this Saturday, so we'll talk about that probably more so in Keys Corner episode 3. But I want to see these guys play. I'm considering driving out there to watch them play because I want to see two of the top 3 scorers in the state at the 5A level play together and see how real they are. And they got to play Preston this week without Wade. Right. It's a different story.
Right.
Prayers up for Wade Bailey to get healthy. But with Wade Bailey, they're potentially the favorite because of the way they're coached with the athletes, dogs out there. That's a basketball town.
Yeah.
That's got,
for years.
Yeah. They Coach Jones and those guys. But without Wade Bailey, we're talking about not just missing a top player. We're talking about missing your starting point guard.
Right.
The quarterback.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The most important players on the team, most important positions on the team.
Yeah.
An extension of the coach on the floor, and that's the way that he plays the game. And he's also, I think Keshawn Bryce is better with Wade on the court. And I feel like he gets to play more of his game and gets to do what he does, be athletic, dunk on people, get to the rim. Wade makes it so much easier because he draws so much attention. Not only can he score, and he scores, we see him score 20 easily, effortlessly, but also the assist that he gets, and then just the overall leadership that he has, even as a young player. So shout out to Wade and the Preston boys. They have been one of those teams that last year when they came to the state tournament, they had it rocking. Dunks, oops, and how they play and how hard they compete, and they're still that same level this year. So, but they obviously need to get healthy. We were talking about Blackfoot yesterday in the Keys Corner, and what's crazy is we were talking about it. I went to bed, woke up. The first thing I see is the duo and what they did. I think one of them had 24, one had 23 or 21 last night. And so just like we were talking about it, then boom, it's right in my face. And now I'm like, okay, I got to see these guys.
Yeah.
And so shout out to Blackfoot. I wish you guys were closer so we could actually make that trip a little bit easier. But right now we don't know what the weather's like over on that way. We know that kidding towards Pocatello, it could be a snowstorm. And as much as we want it, we only want it on the mountain out here. So, but, shout out to Blackfoot, shout out to Preston. We'll be able to see more and tell you guys more once these guys play. We'll talk about it in Keys Corner next week.
Yeah, 100%. And so up north, once again, I want to shout out Royce Fisher from Lewiston, who's committed to LC State. That's the name I'm hearing. I talked to these 6A guys. I talked to Caden Simmons. I talked to Carlson. I talked to these guys. Yeah, Caden Simmons was that guy.
All-time leading scorer at Coeur d'Alene now?
Yeah, 1345 points. Right.
Not only that, isn't he the all-time passing yards as a quarterback and touchdowns thrown?
Yeah, Caden.
This boy is a problem. If you hearing this, Caden, just know we watching. We know what it is. We've been knowing what it is.
Yeah.
So shout out to you.
The Evansville commit Division I point guard. If you're a Division I point guard, we've talked about it when we talked about Zoe Blackwell, Tegan Colvin, and them. If you're a Division I point guard, you're not just a good athlete. Your mind is different. You can dominate a game with your mind, outthinking people, high IQ, understand how to make people better. And as a quarterback and a point guard, you have to. Or
coaches and coach your son.
Both coaches.
Yeah,
championship, national championship coach and a state champ, 3 times state championship coach. Shout out Nicole Simmons, Corey Simmons, the Simmons family. Good friends with them when I lived up in Coeur d'Alene, and stay in touch with them. And obviously Coach Simmons hits us up about some recruiting and stuff at times.
Yeah,
and a bunch of guys that we've covered and we know are playing up there. Josh Watson just committed. Kason Miller's up there from Lake City years ago, and Sawyer Hansen is there as well, the former Middleton Viking, your hometown.
Yeah, my boy, and he just got engaged. So shout out to my boy Sawyer, just engaged.
Shout out Sawyer Hansen too. Yes, sir. Congratulations. And so up north, Royce Fisher from Lewiston. They were 6A last couple years. They always have the athletes, always good football team. But Royce Fisher's committed to LC State. Once again, I said this on Keys Corner. To put that in perspective for people at home, LC State is Ty Cornwall has an LC State offer, and he may be the best 5A player in the state, reigning 5A SIC player of the year. Ty Cornwall is a big problem at Middleton, and Royce Fisher has committed to LC State, and he's averaging, 18, 19 a game, and he's a big problem. And I'm excited to see him play. I think they're going to come from up north, and I hope they get down here because I keep hearing really good things. And so Royce Fisher at Lewiston, remember that name. Lewiston from up north, 5A, starting to get educated there, like we said we would. 5A down here, we talked about a little bit last time. Columbia, Valley View, you've got Skyview, BK Middleton. I mean, and they all got dudes, and you got Merrill at Skyview, you got Cornwall at Middleton, you got Graves and Goss at BK, you've got Jones and Keller and Lott over at Columbia, and then you got Gutierrez and Xander Wilson and Noah Mitchell and Betancourt over at Valley View, bro. A lot of hoopers in the 5A SIC. Who's going to get to the state tournament? I believe there's 2.5 spots. I'm glad there's that extra half, because 2 out of 5 getting there will be criminal. There's 2.5 spots with 5 teams. I think there's going to end up being, we're going to take that half spot most likely, but who's it going to be? I mean, it's going to come down to that first round of that district tournament. I mean, I'm going to put you on the spot here. If you had to take 2 of those 5 based on what you know right now, who would you, just 2, not even 3, just 2.
I'm just going to say it right now how I see it. I'm going to pick Columbia, and I'm going to pick Valley View. One, because I feel like the momentum right now.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah, that's tough.
Dang, I can't leave out BK.
I know.
Oh my God.
I was waiting for. I was like, he's gonna say something about BK. He forgot. Oh, BK Columbia. BK Valley View tonight.
BK Valley View tonight.
I'm talking me into it.
Cow, yo. Ooh, I don't know. I'll put Columbia for sure. That's my for sure.
Yeah.
And then it's a toss up between BK and Valley View. I don't know.
Not Middleton with the reigning SIC Player of the Year.
For me, I haven't really seen it. I've seen a lot of losses, and I don't know if everybody's bought in, and not in a disrespectful way at all. But it's just the momentum of where they're going right now. I feel like their morale is down. And like before conference play started, it was up.
They won that tournament.
Yeah, and so for me, it was like this is a tale of two teams, and for me, I just haven't. I don't know if they're going to get that momentum back.
Yeah,
when your schedule is packed with the teams they have left to play, it's like your momentum has to be right at the right time, because it's not always the best teams that win the state championship.
Yeah.
Right. It's the team that's on fire at that moment. Right. So, you could be the number one team. Me, prime example, when I was at Middleton, we were the number one team in the state, and we got upset and didn't even make it to the state tournament.
Yeah.
So sometimes the best team doesn't even go. So it's like whoever's hot at that moment can make something happen. So for me, unless they get their momentum back and that swagger back, then that'll put them where they need to be. But I haven't seen that. And so for me, Valley View's riding hot right now. BK is riding hot right now. I just feel like Columbia has enough. And the thing is, like, those guys aren't going to have an off night again.
Yeah.
Like, those guys is ready to work and ready to go. And I've been out to Columbia. I said that in Keith's Corner. And I see those guys hanging out together. And it's like, when I see teams that have that type of chemistry, they're at their sophomore game. Shout out to them for just showing up for them younger guys. And Coach Wright building this program up where they're supporting each other. That to me is huge. And I think that's why I picked them, as my one where I'm like, oh, that's a non-negotiable. I think they're going to be that team to beat. And on top of that, you already know how I feel about Max Keller. I just think he's him. So, that's why I picked those guys. At Valley View, Coach Mario to me is one of the best coaches out here regardless of classification. We talked about it yesterday in Keith's Corner. His guys were even in the comments saying like how good of a guy he is, how great of a guy he is outside of basketball. Forget basketball.
Love it.
And that to me shows that those kids are bought into him and that togetherness that it takes to win. And so right now, on top of them riding hot, and they play whoever's the best. They don't do the seniority thing, which I think is the seniority thing needs to be gone. It's the best players play, like respectfully. And I get it. There's guys that have paved their way in the program, but the best players have to play. And if you're going to continue to play seniority ball at these certain programs, you can't expect to get the best and the most out of your guys. And it is what it is. I was a freshman on varsity. And so I know what it feels like to have a senior person in front of me that I had to sit behind, where our team suffered because of that. Mm-hmm. So for me, that's why I would pick Valley View. And then, BK, obviously, they have enough. They have size, athleticism, they have shooting. Owen Gray's one of the best point guards in the 5A. And I feel like he leads those guys really well. So it's a toss-up for me when it comes to that. But I would definitely say Columbia. I think I would probably still be Columbia. I don't know.
We'll talk later tonight after I go to this game, because you talked me into this game. Coach DM, get ready for that game tonight. I think we're going to go out there. I got to talk to the wife first. But yeah, man, 5A basketball for me it's really exciting. It's going to be exciting to see, but we could be having this conversation in a few weeks and Columbia might not make it. And we're both high on it because of how good the league is. And it comes down to a game. And then you gotta be ready to go. You gotta be playing well. Me and Coach Dan were talking today about the, March Madness. I've learned that you've got to take a team to win it that's on a heater.
Yep.
The team that just won their conference tournament. How many times have we seen, the last few years, they just won their conference tournament and they just keep rolling.
Right.
And just getting better and better and better, more and more confident. And so it's going to be interesting to see what we got there. A lot of it's going to sort itself out in the next few weeks when it comes to seeding. But I think Ty Cornwall for Middleton obviously makes them relevant. We saw them win a 3-day tournament like we talked about earlier, how important that is, how impressive that can be. I think Ty Cornwall, just like we called out Drake Hope at the start of the year from Meridian, there needs to be another step taken where I don't care. Like you said this, Keith's Corner, it doesn't matter if there's a double team. Right. And I think Kobe said it. Devin Booker said it. Why don't ever complain about a double team, especially during pickup. Oh, I'm getting double. Why am I getting double? There's a video of Devin Booker getting doubled and complaining about it. And then he ended up getting educated by Kobe was like, no, you want that.
That's
You need to learn how to beat a double team and then figure out what you can do out of that, because double team means advantage, and it's my job to take advantage when there's
who's open.
Yeah.
Who's open, and can I create enough plays, enough shots for these other guys that when the double then comes down, the double has to leave. I get my man one-on-one coverage, and I can get back to doing what I do. I do think if he steps up, that can change everything. I've been high on Ty Cornwall for a long time as well. And it's not that I don't believe it. I'm a Middleton person. So I want to see them do well. And I could be completely wrong. I've been wrong before about a lot of my takes. So, and I can admit that. But what it would take for Middleton to really show up and get it done, it would have to be him doing that.
Yeah.
He can't have these games of 12 anymore.
Yeah.
He has to have these games of 18 and up.
Yeah.
And have the same defense that he brought to Centennial. Same playmaking that he's brought in these other games. Even the Rocky game. Like, dude, he was scoring at will. He needs to be that guy.
Yeah.
And then they can make the run. Because to me, at the beginning of the year, before anything even started, I'm like, yo, they might be the favorite to win it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now it's like, okay,
where we
had to slow down. This is where we're at. Who's playing hot? Who's not?
Mm-hmm.
And that, that's why my takes are the way that they are.
They got to find a way to get in. If they get in, then they're going to be a big problem, because he can absolutely go. So, all right, let's jump over to 6A, boys. Let me check our time real quick. Excuse me. Okay, we got about 10, 15 minutes. Let's talk about this, Coach. We're going to talk about, me and Coach Key are not just talking heads here. We are both coaches. He's a trainer, obviously. Right. I coached for years, coached at Eagle, coached in the state of Oregon, ran my own club, have done all the. We are coaches. This is our way of coaching without being on a coaching staff. Right. We care about the game. We want to talk about the game. We don't think we know everything. We think we know some things, and we've had life experiences that we want to share that have helped us and encouraged us. So we're going to talk about more and more as we go on. It's not just going to be talking about this guy, that guy, and the other one, and we're gonna be talking about basketball, what's important when it comes to the game, the game within the game, the intricacies of the game, why chemistry is important, how to think differently, and all those type of things. So we're gonna start now, and we're gonna implement our X factors here, and we're gonna talk about what it means to be a good teammate and to star in your role, and why scoring points is. For whatever reason, kids these days, especially in the American culture, think that if I don't score, I'm not going to go anywhere. I'm not going to be a hooper, and that is incorrect, isn't it, Coach?
Right. And so, to be honest, we talked about this the other day. For those that are watching, those that have stayed to this part and to the podcast, it's very important for you to understand something: is that every time that you step on a basketball floor, you have a chance to impact the game. That doesn't have to be through scoring. It could be through defending. It could be through rebounding. It could be just being a playmaker and creating assists. You look at guys like Rajon Rondo. At the beginning of his career, he was just getting assists and rebounds and then getting triple doubles with 12 points. And he was so valuable to that Celtics team's success. He sacrificed his scoring ability because in high school and in college, he was scoring 30 a game to then sacrifice for what the team needed. And that was something that made them go, that made them win. And that's why he was so valuable. If you look at guys like Draymond Green, the things that he does, if you really know basketball, you see how valuable that he is and what he brings to the table, from his defensive mindset, his defensive IQ, his awareness that he has, where he's at, the film that he watches, and preparing his teammates for what's to come. And so when we talk about our X factors, these are players that contribute to the game in ways. Scoring may be a part of it, assists might be a part of it, defense might be a part of it, or you could be a guy like Theo that your energy is it, your aura is it. And those are things that I feel like is very important for kids to understand, because in being recruited, we sit there and we watch these kids that maybe aren't having the best offensive games, that are the offensive players, and then they're pouting on the bench, and then you're tearing your team down. You should be happy for your teammates' success, because that'll get you a lot further than you just trying to be the scorer. Everybody that I train, I train them to score, I train them to defend, I train them to rebound, I train them to pass. Not everybody does it like that. And so however you're learning the game, you have to make sure that how you're learning the game is going to benefit you to the next level, or the level of what you're trying to get to. So when you're so focused on scoring primarily, and then you don't score, and then your body language is trash, your team chemistry is trash because you're tearing your teammate down by just the facial expressions, your body language speaks louder than you do. And so in our state right now, currently, we have guys that could really excel, and girls that could really excel if they were just happy for their teammates' success. And how much further would they go if they could handle that? Because right now, when you have, your seniors or your juniors that are already leading your team, and you're a younger player on the team, it may not be your time right now. And you might have to wait your turn. We talked about this seniority thing. Some programs believe in that, and that's completely okay. I may disagree with that. That's completely okay. There's guys who have paid the price, right, to get their opportunity, and they finally get there. It's your job as a teammate to cheer that person on, and then when your number is called, to show it. And I think you get more opportunities by going and competing and earning your minutes rather than complaining about it. Another thing that we were talking about. Kids that are watching this, we love you guys. We want you guys to win. We want you guys to get recruited. We want you guys to get as much exposure as you can. In the last 30 days, over 2 million people have viewed our account. Okay, so we're trying to get you as much exposure and opportunities to be seen by whoever as we can. But when you reach out to us and you're complaining about, oh, hey, why didn't you show me love? Hey, you didn't show me love. This isn't a participation ribbon that we're handing out to people. We are talking about people that we are seeing and recognizing the good that they're doing. That's why we have the X Factors list. We have more than just the Player of the Year watch. We have the players to watch. We have the X Factor list. We've given out shout outs to people that are not even on our list. And at the end of the day, if you're so concerned with our list, you should be more concerned with winning games, because that's more important than what our list may say. And so I think that that's something that we as a whole, within the AAU culture, within the training culture, and within the high school basketball culture, need to understand that it is not about a participation ribbon. You earn your keep. You earn people talking about you. And if we aren't, go and do something about it to make us want to talk about you, or to make it so we have to talk about you. That's how I was raised to play, and that's how I'm sure that you were raised to play, and that's what we try to do. We are not the type of coaches or type of people that are going to come in here and bluff you guys and be fake with you guys. We are as real as it gets. What you see is what you get. We're not going to sugarcoat. We're not going to hide. If you watch anything from the season 1 of our podcast, you would know that, because we called out coaches in that. We called out officials in that. We called out anybody and everybody, and even me, I had to own up to some things that I was wrong about on the pod. So we are very real, and we want things that we teach you and what we talk about to not only impact your basketball game, but hopefully impact, and you can take and learn from us things that will help you apply to your life. And so we don't want you guys to think that we're just going to give out shout outs and praise to people who message us, because that's, believe me, you're the first to get I'm red. Yeah. I'm not saying nothing bad, because to me, you got to earn it. It's the same way. I went through it. I played through it, and I had a season my junior year of college where I didn't get the opportunity that I wanted. And everybody was telling me, oh, you're not good, you're not this. The next year, guess what? I was an All-American. I was the Player of the Year, and I was a Player of the Year finalist, and then I got drafted into the G League. So I didn't sit there and cry about it. I didn't go and beg my coach. I was like, you know what? I could control my work ethic. I could control my work, and that's what I'm willing to do to make sure that nobody can ever say that I didn't work harder than anybody else, that I didn't deserve what I was getting. Right. And I didn't want anything handed to me. And I would encourage you, if you want recognition from us, to go work. And that doesn't have to be with a trainer. That can be on your own. Go and shoot. I wish I'd see the parks full of kids. But go work on your game. Go to a trainer, go to a strength coach, go to your local high school coach, and ask them if they can rebound for you, or what do you need to work on to get better, and earn us to talk about you. Because right now, this podcast is only getting bigger. We got the best in the game with Strive, doing all of our videos. Obviously, people like listening to us and probably hate listening to us. But anyways, you're going to hear us. And then we got Coach DM that's over here showing the most love and bringing up all the attention. So, we want to give you guys the opportunity and exposure that you deserve, but you will earn it through us. You will earn it from us. We're not the type of people just to hand it to you.
Yeah, and we're always gonna be honest, like you said. We're gonna do it out of love. And if you don't like it, you don't have to listen, and that's okay. Like, we understand, but there needs to be more truth tellers.
Yeah.
There needs to be more truth tellers out there. And you may not agree, and there are things that we're wrong about, but when it comes to the game, and it comes to the flowers, and it comes to it, we're talking about the X factors, and you can be an X factor by not even being on the floor.
Right.
Positivity, encouragement, the right vibes, the aura, like you said, that Theo brings. Guys like Cam Fisher bring on the bench. Cam Fisher's a rabid dog on the bench. Coach, get me in. Come on, yeah, man. He's taking out all that energy, cheering on his teammates. Like, we got guys that are great. Logan Williams at Eagle, great teammate. Right. Silas Crane, he don't have to score. He don't care. He wants to get his boys feeling good. Yeah, because it brings him joy to see them have joy. That's called selflessness. What Coach Key was talking about a lot of these people who go, you play, you aren't playing well, you go out and you bring the room down with your attitude. Right. That's selfishness, y'all. that selfishness, that is not going to work from a life perspective. Selfishness does not win.
Right.
Living selflessly with like how can I serve others and enhance others' lives and experience? How can I influence others instead of letting others influence me?
Right.
And if you want to be a person that influences others, you know, encouragement, positivity, like we always push and we always say what Shigon is about, what Eagle Ridge is about, Josh and his family is about that. Shout out to CHURRO Bros too. That's whoo, I'm gonna go hit CHURRO Bros before the game tonight probably. That's our new spot. They just sponsored us because they hit us up and they said we love the vibes, the energy, the positivity, the encouragement, and the love. And we sit here just trying to love y'all. Because we're passionate. And the game of basketball was actually originally created to help guide people and to build relationships. And it was a form of ministry. And that's why, you know, my thing is EBC Ministry is because I just want it to be all positivity and love and encouragement and a light in a dark world. And that's all he's trying to do. That's why I think he's the best trainer out there, because the second you train with Key, whether it's 1 time or 100 times, as soon as you train with Key, it's family. You part of family. You not part of the family for 5 minutes. I don't know you. Key goes to he misses the biggest games of the year to go to a 3-15 team against a 2-19 team senior night, because the relationships matter more. And that's selflessness, guys. Key's not like, where can I go get seen the most? Where can I go get heard the most? He's going, it's like, where can I go make the biggest impact? Who needs that? Who needs that encouragement? Who needs that impact? And that's just an example. So that's what we about here. Most of you should know that. Those of you who are new followers, and we've got a bunch of new followers, you will learn that. And we're okay. We want to talk ball. Message us. Don't tell us we need to give people shout outs. Just give us the information. Hey, my boy scored. Boom, boom, boom. I got a message the other day. Loved it. Boro boys. They don't get a lot of love right now. They're having a down year, rebuilding, trying to figure it out. Guys are working hard. You train with a bunch of them. But somebody reaches out and goes, hey, just want to let you know, this dude had this many. This dude had this many. They didn't win, but they played hard. They played well. It's been a struggle. They had a good game. We shouted them out last pod. They didn't say, why you not hitting us? Why you not shouting us out? Why you not in anger? We need information. We need y'all out there to help us with the stats, with the scores. We want to shout your friends and your family out. We do. Okay. We're not just going to give handouts because we do know the game, and we're not going to water down this podcast like a lot of them podcasts are watered down. It's not who we are. And I think that's what makes us different. And so get us the information. We talk about it. I educate Keon players. He educates me. We enjoy it. You know, is what our friendship is built on basketball, which once again, we're trying to share with you is basketball helps create relationships. It's a tool that is used to help create opportunities, to reach goals, to create a pathway to other things that may be meant to be, and build friendships. And that's why it's such a beautiful thing. And we want to help you kids understand that. And we have so much we can talk about. You know, Key's got a training he got to get to. We wanted to sit here and run down, talk about all the X factors. I'm getting ready to drop the other X factors post, but we have so much to talk about. That's why we added Key's Corner. So we can talk about more. We want to give more people love. We try to do it 20, 30 minutes. It's an hour every time. It's a Monday night. It's Monday night with Key for an hour, you know, and so we're going to continue to do that. We're going to continue to show love. And when this man talks, please listen. Please take it to heart. Reach out to him. Ask him questions. He is here to help build better human beings using the game of basketball and his giftings in training and his understanding of the game. And he's taken everything he used with his life experiences, and he wants to pour into you kids and whoever needs it. Doesn't even have to be a hooper. It doesn't even have to be a hooper. Just reach out, train. He helps multiple athletes. And I am the same way. I've had my experiences, my life experiences, and I just want to pour into people and impact people. And that's what we're about. So thank you for joining us on that late episode rant there, but very important to us. We thought that was important to share. This is what we're going to continue to do, and we're going to continue to build this thing. Maybe even, you know, not just Idaho basketball during the winter. We might try, you know, might try something during the summer and bring in some special guests.
Some special guests.
Some special guests.
High level that some of you guys you guys will need to listen to play in that 3-letter league. So and some guys are playing that Euro League, making big cheese that you guys are all trying to get to. So those guys will be potentially on the podcast in that time. We'll let you guys know. Stay tuned. Episode 3, we out.
Love you, boy. Yes, sir.